Hey, it's your girl KV back with a double review. I gotta do 2 episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all, I'm really not in the best mood today, but we're gonna power through. I had a great weekend. I will say that I had a great weekend. I went to my cousin's wedding in Georgia, and my baby was the most beautiful foul girl ever. And yeah, that was my weekend. To the part where Kenya was showing her panties. This was a wild couple of episodes, right? Okay. Season 16, episode 3, High Notes and Cheap Shots. This episode starts off, I put no jewelry on, no earrings, no ring, nothing. It's fine. I've been in the house all day. breeaaathe reminds us that she was in a high school video vixen. Yeah, like in high school, I was that girl. Yes, in high school. Yeah. I saw online where somebody had posted one of the videos she was in, and it was Kiss Me Through the Phone. So I was like, okay, maybe that's a little high school appropriate. But then I saw where people was posting where the girl might have been a PORN star. Y'all, I didn't know that. I know that they was talking about she might have had her OnlyFans, and that's where Kenya got the images from. But a full-blown star, or they were showing this video where they got a steamy shower scene. I was like, what is happening? Anybody else drink cinnamon water? Shout out to the cinnamon girls. Shout out to the cinnamon girls. Anywho, yes, they asked her if she dated Rick Ross. She's like, yeah, but that ain't what we talking about right now. I've been with my man, yada, yada, yada. Looked like somebody brought her some pictures when she was dating Stevie J as well. I said, oh. She was out there for real. Okay. They have Britt and her husband, is it Michael? I think it's Michael. Britt and Michael have his family over, her in-laws, for dinner. It cracked me up because they got the chef making lobster tails and scallops, and the little nephew was like, this is fancy, lobster tails. Ain't this a little fancy? Her baby said, listen, we be getting some barbecue, we be getting some chicken wings. Y'all want to do lobsters today because of the cameras here? I guess. I said, expose it, baby, expose it. And so she's talking to her in-laws. Somehow she brings up Kenya. Yeah, so this one girl, Kenya, she's been acting up a bit. Like, she was coming for me. You know? And, it won't be no problems if she just calms down, right, baby? And he like, how about them Cowboys? He ain't studying her no mind. Because, like, girl, this we finna talk about with my mama now? This we finna talk about with the baby here? Like, it's giving obsessed. Okay, let me do something with this because it's bothering me too while I'm on camera. So it's giving obsessed, y'all. She talks about wanting a ceremony because they didn't have a wedding. They just went down to the courthouse, I suppose, because it was COVID. So you know how the COVID weddings went. That wasn't no better, child. You know how the COVID weddings went. But he's just like, you want a ceremony? I want a baby. Where does that leave us? I said, well, all right then, Mike. All right. So next, her and the sister-in-law sneak off to the basement and they go have their own little private conversation. She tells us that her dad passed away while he was in between jobs and they weren't able to collect on his $2 million insurance policy. It just don't sound right. That don't sound right. It don't sound right. And if it's one of those cases where it's employer policy, y'all, like, I get it. The job make it easy for you to pay into it or do this or do that. But you have to take out your own personal insurance because you don't want your insurance to be contingent upon whether you still working there or not. It's bad enough that the health insurance have to be contingent upon working at a job or not most of the time. But your life insurance, mm-mm, mm-mm. So she tells us about that. And what really had me confused is like you went from he had a $2 million policy to y'all having to have a GoFundMe for his funeral. It's just something missing out of there. Like there was no savings from anybody. Like you dated all these famous men, you couldn't call nobody and be like, hey, holla at your girl, I'm in dire need. Let me come do a video. Let me come do a couple videos right fast to get this money up. Like you had to do a GoFundMe. So that shows you that she's very new money. She's very, very new money because she said her dad died like, what, 5 years ago? So she's very, very new money. And I guess that's going to explain why she is like she is. But I'm like, so that is why she started her insurance agency with her sisters. But they fell out while this was going on. She had to sell the agency, had to fire one sister, the other sister quit. But now they're just out on the odds. Neither of the sisters, I think, are really talking to her right now. Michael comes downstairs like, hey, y'all need to get back upstairs. Dessert's being served. They're like, but we're not done. Get upstairs. And I agree with him. Don't have these cameras all up in my face for you just to sneak off with my sister and go have a conversation. Y'all do that on your own time. If I'm bound by the cameras, we all sitting here together. I'm not finna, girl, what? So I agree with that. It was odd for them to kind of sneak away during that moment anyway, while that family dinner was still actively going on. It wasn't like dinner was over and then we all, spread out, somebody outside on the patio having a smoke, somebody watching TV. No, dinner was still actively going on and y'all leaving the table to go gossip. A little bit of class, please. So we see Kelly and Porsha have lunch to smooth things over. Kelly called to invite everybody to her event. She called Porsha. Porsha didn't know who it was. I said, you answering unknown numbers, but you couldn't reply to it and have lunch with Drew. So we see that she's, we see the game. We see the game. So when this scene starts, you would think that Porsha called this meeting because Kelly is just like, she looking so off-put by this whole situation, but it's like, girl, you called her. You called her. So, Porsha orders a drink. Kelly's like, I'm not drinking. And end up ordering a drink later on. Because she realized, ain't no beef. We just got off on the wrong foot. Excuse me. We just got off on the wrong foot or whatever. They mentioned Shamia and what Shamia's intentions was with, oh, she wanted me to address you. She wanted you to confront me at her birthday party. What is that about? We see Drew in the studio. Angela is there and Cynthia and Kenya come too. Drew has a nice album. That's like my little workout album for right now because I like to listen to R&B. I don't like to listen to rap or too fast paced when I'm working out, when I'm doing weights. So Drew's album is great for my little weights and Pilates stuff. So I like Drew's album. I told y'all that Dennis might be doing something because it's not all about, everybody's like, it's so many music producers in Atlanta. Okay, and Drew probably can't afford them. We know she cheap. And Dennis approached her. So he's showing an interest in her music and working with her. Every music producer that's ever going to be isn't already established. So I just kind of get a little annoyed at people being like, you working with Dennis? She working with Dennis? He don't do music. Granted, yeah, he don't do music, so we look so confused by this. But like I said on the last review, all it takes half the time is somebody putting that interest, attention, and everything into you to make sure that your project does what it needs to do. It don't take him being an established music producer. And the album is good. So Dennis did what needed to be done, period. And he out here and he out here using the platform, but we'll get to that in the next episode. So They get on Drew about Dennis. Where he at? Ain't he supposed to be in the studio? Porsha ran him about that studio. She was like, PJ needs you. Yeah, I heard the cameras over there. PJ needs you. Got him up out that studio real quick. So they get on Drew about that. Like, girl, you really working with that girl, baby daddy? Cynthia said, baby daddy's hit different. Okay, like, I feel you, but baby daddy's hit different. And like I said, I don't think Drew needed Porsha's permission to work with Dennis, but I do feel like it should have been a heads up. Hey, girl, Dennis says, you know, he want to be my music producer. He want to work on this album with me, so we finna do that. I just wanted to make sure you heard it from me and not nobody else first. That is literally all it took. It didn't need no conversation. It didn't need to ask. It didn't even need a lunch. That could have been a voicemail, baby. And Porsha can do with that what she will. So they're getting on Drew about it. She's like, we don't even talk on the phone. Production flash right on over to a scene of them be on the phone. We are strictly a professional relationship. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Production know they gonna roll that beautiful bean footage out on some people. Not everybody. But some people, they gonna roll that beautiful bean footage and let us see that they lying through their teeth. So she claims that she's reached out to Porsha multiple times trying to get up with her. Hey, Porsha, we need to talk. Hey, Porsha this. Hey, Porsha this. But never really getting to the point. Cynthia was like, girl, I don't even be trying to look for Porsha, but I run into her all the time. So what is it that you're trying to say? And because Cynthia and her professional is like, listen, don't play with none of my old work, okay? Don't mess with Leon. Don't mess with Peter. Don't mess with Mike, okay? And then they mentioned that when Kenya did Life Tours On, she asked Cynthia if she could ask Leon to be in the project. She asked for her blessing. So, like, that's just how things go. Okay? That's what real friends do. It's basically what they're trying to let her know. We see Angela and Charles. They're in one of the houses, and she mentions that in 2007, he got kicked out of a game and banned from Madison Square Garden. And this caused them to live separately. I said, is this you setting up the we were apart when he had that baby on me type of thing? Because everybody's saying that he got an outside baby, and that's really what was the thing. Angela wants a vow renewal, but he's like, girl, you got all this money tied up in these 5 houses. Ain't no renewal. Renew these properties and get them sold. That's what you need to focus on. This is one of the marriages I feel like it need not be on TV because the dynamics shown, it's just not the most loving type of relationship. And not to say that that's a problem. People have different dynamics of relationships. Some people need a stern voice to be, and some people are just who they are. For instance, my husband, I had to tell him, like, I don't like all that playing and stuff. Like, you can't be joking on me and thinking that it's funny. But he grew up the youngest, so that's just how he is. But he had to learn how to tailor it on down for me, because I'm like, I don't do that. I don't play like that. You worship me like a loving king, queen, okay? You don't be like, oh, you did this, huh? Oh, what about that? No, that ain't what we're gonna do. And I had to be like, anyway, but that seems to be the dynamics that is shown of Charles and Angela. And I'm sure they have loving moments. The camera can't catch everything. And he probably don't even want to be in front of the camera. So this could also be him being a little extra like, yeah, now keep me off camera. Right? So there's that. But I just feel like they probably don't need to be on reality TV. Drew goes to see her lawyer in this god-awful half-corset suit. It was just crazy. Like, what is happening in this outfit? They talk about how Ralph represented himself, and he want her money. He want her money. He won't turn in none of his financials, but he's turning in paperwork that's her financials. I said, Ralph, stop playing with me. He's trying to get out of paying child support. He's trying to get out of paying anything. But, like, it seems like Drew is the money maker. So, we don't know, child. They talk about how the kids are not supposed to know about the divorce, but in the next episode, they mention how the son brought Ralph an article about the divorce. And my thing is, like, these kids are big enough to be online, for one, and two, their daddy moved to the basement. they're old enough to know what divorce is and to know that something is going on at home because they daddy moved to the basement. I hate when people underestimate children like that, like they don't have a mind of their own, like they can't think for themselves, like they can't observe what's going on around them. Like, girl, them kids, all of them kids is big enough to know what's happening, or for somebody at school to be talking about it, and now they got questions when they get home. Just like Mia kids coming home asking her, well, where y'all meet? Nah, but where in Charlotte? What kind of club y'all meet at? Like, these kids have access. Stop playing them like they done. So we see Porsha and her mama go to the spa. This scene annoyed me because she's acting like she's so blindsided about who Simon really is. And in the Nigerian culture, you're supposed to go to his family before getting a divorce, and they didn't want anything to do with it. Girl, because you wife number 5. What they look like trying to fix every marriage. After the second one, I'm sure they was like, boy, forget these traditions. They don't extend over there because we ain't got time for this foolishness. And then we also see her telling her mom about Shamia telling her the things that the girl said. And her mama gonna say, you need to wash the dog that brings you the bone. But if she didn't say something, it would have been, oh, she just let you walk into a situation knowing those girls talk about you like that. So we truly see that Porsha, Porsha is the problem, but Porsha's mama is really the problem. And I ain't even gonna talk about that girl mama, but the way she be wearing them wigs and getting her body done. Okay. So we at the Balmain event. Kelly is doing this event. Balmain. You know, rappers is always saying Balmain, so I be like Balmain, but they were saying Balmain. So the Balmain event that Kelly is throwing, and it's for brittle bones disease. 3 of her kids have it, and the way that she found out was quite traumatic because one of her children, their arm was messed up. She couldn't figure out what was wrong with her arm. They thought it was broken, so they took her to the hospital. They get to the hospital, they immediately assumed that the baby was being abused. Cops were called. They wouldn't let her in the room. They wouldn't let her come, you know, they wouldn't let her leave or anything. And she said they were in a whole nother state. And she said they were in Baltimore. They were probably at Johns Hopkins. And she said it wasn't until the doctor like shined a light in her eyes, and people with brittle bones disease have a blue tint on their eyes. And the doctor saw that and was like, oh, this baby has brittle bones disease. And they were like, oh, okay, cops, you can go home. You can get your baby girl. Our bad. We just had to take precautions. But completely traumatizing, I can imagine. And then to realize that 3 of your kids have this and not just this one. So she's doing something about it. This shot Kelly up as Fave Newbie right now because she's being vulnerable. We love to hear your story. We love to hear what's going on. If you're going to be on TV, you have to be willing to tell it all. And that's just not what Angela is giving right now. Angela seems to be cool for the most part. They're going to have their messy moments. They're on reality TV. There has to be a bit of mess. I get it. But Angela is just not giving the vulnerability that Kelly is. So she's the fave right now. The new fave. The new fave. My fave is Shamia because I don't count her as new. So everyone is there with their daughters. This is a mommy and me event since, you know, this is for her daughters. I think like 10% of the proceeds of all of the purchases will go to a foundation that supports brittle bones disease. We see Porsha and Brooklyn. We see Porsha and Pilar and Brooklyn and Kenya are dressed alike with their mommies. It's so cute. See Brooklyn over there sipping her little sparkling cider. I said, this is just too adorable. So Angela is there and she wants to resolve things with Shamia, but Shamia is still on petty time. They call each other mean girls. She's like, it even matches, it goes with your name, Shamina. Shamina. That cracked me up. Shamia said she had a 90s retro nose and she looked like LaToya Jackson. Angela said, oh, okay. Just because, what Shamia said? Shamia was like, we need to get some tapes to get her nose back together. She said, you need to get your nose out of Portia's ass. It was such a good, clean comeback. It didn't get nasty. They didn't go to below the belt. It was just a good, clean comeback. I said, oh, Quick with it. And then Angela calls her Flavor Flav. Now, a lot of people took that as a colorist comment, but by the time she got to her confessional, she claims that she called her Flavor Flav because Flavor Flav is like a huge hype man and Shamia is Porsha's hype man. I said, okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. But we see Shamia goes over to apologize to Drew for putting her on Front Street at her birthday party. So now Drew wants to try to talk to Porsha, and she's like, no, I think we should talk right now. And she is, being a little extra. And Porsha's like, I'm just trying to figure out where she get all this audacity from. And then I look behind me, and the audacity is behind me with braids. and you see her sister Allison. Now, this didn't help none for me, and I'm sure I'm probably the only one that see it like this, but girl, they already saying that Allison is your mama, and then you gonna bring her to this mommy and me event. Now I'm gonna start calling her your mama too, cause yeah, it's just, that's what it gives. That's what it gives. Y'all remember on I can't remember what movie it was, but Bow Wow was in it. And he was like, who's the baby? Who's the baby I'm talking about? What baby she had to give up? Who's the baby? Where the baby at? Is the baby in the family? Do we know the baby? Huh? Do we know the baby? You're the baby. She's your mom, not your sister. That's what I think of every time we see Drew and her sister Allison. And I know people can have kids 20 years apart. I see it all the time. But it's just given that might be your mama. That might be your mama. So that was that episode. Next we got season 16, episode 4, The Vault, okay? Or Pistols and Peaches, Peaches and Petty Pistols, Petty P and Pistols. Okay, I want to see that P and Pistols. Whew. This episode starts with Britt and Angela going for a walk. And Britt got her dog Mimosa in a stroller. Now, I can't stand to see people with a dog in a stroller going for a walk. The dog needs to walk. And I get it, some dogs be hating to walk or like will just plop. And will just plop down wherever. But seeing dogs in strollers be like, it grates me. I know it's something petty, but it does. Britt lets us know all through this episode that she does not get along with a lot of females. I don't get along with a lot of females. It's like, it's like they're jealous of me. Like, they either love me or they hate me. I don't have a lot of female friends. Like, I don't even get along with my sisters. Like, Mike is my best friend. Like, I just don't get along with females. Ever since high school, girls would always want to fight me, and my sister would have to pull up there and just to make sure everything's okay, because I just don't get along with a lot of females. We get it, babe. We get it. Angela talks about her mom and Charles were arguing about cleaning, and it turns into this big heated conversation that he has not gotten over. I said cleaning or cleaning house, as in these extra women out. Questions that need answers. Miss Open Book. It's not giving open book. It's just not. Britt's like, yeah, I've got family issues too. They both talk about how they've had to give their siblings money, and the money is basically coming from the men. Yeah, so like, my sisters, they'll ask for money, not knowing that the money is coming from Mike. Yeah. And then they see that, like, Mike is trying to be their dad, since their dad passed away. I said, Mike ain't trying to be their daddy. Mike trying to give them some life lessons. If you kind of come and get up out of my pocket every now and again, yeah, I can afford to give you a couple of talkings to so that you can do better, and I got to come back to my pockets. Like, that I ain't mad about with Mike. Because if you constantly come and ask me for money, I'm going to be like, hey, when you plan on getting it together? What's your plans in life? Okay, do you want to go to school? Do you want to get a trade? What are we doing? What are we doing? Not mad at it one bit. So, where we at? Angela is having an event, and she's going to invite everybody. Britt takes this moment to mention Kenya again. Because what is a Britney scene if she's not showing that she's obsessed with Kenya? Okay, what is it? You know those guys when you walking down the street and they're like, "Hey girl, you looking good. Let me get your number." And you like, "Nah, I got a boyfriend." "Well, F you. You ain't cute no way. You raggedy B. That's why I should have come in." That's Brit. That's Brit with Kenya. You wanted her to love you. You wanted her to accept you. And when she gave you the slightest bit of in your head, then you just went haywire. FUB, you ain't cute, no way. That's what Brittany gives. That's what Brit gives. She's clearly the problem in her relationships with women. Like it's just no other way around it. You feel me? Like it's truly no other way around it. I want to take it back to this scene. I want to see y'all. Bitch, I need to breathe. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. I need to breathe. Bitch, I need to breathe. So we see Britt sit down with her sister to have lunch. Like I said, this is where we really understand, like, as if we couldn't tell already, this is us really understanding that she is the problem with her relationships with females. She's that girl that thinks she's just so pretty and so extravagant and just so, ooh, that everybody is just like, "Oh my God, I want to be her. I hate her because I want to be her." So she tells us that there's major tension between her and her big sister, Cher. At lunch, Cher tells Brittany that she wants time with her only. "I want to talk to you. If I need one-on-one time with my sister, I want one-on-one time with my sister and not your husband too." She said it feels like when they fall out, and this is with the mom as well, when they fall out, the mom and Brittany will just kind of be like, "Okay, good, because I want to spend time with my man anyway." So they don't make any efforts to make the relationship better with Cher because they like, "I got a man to sit up under." I said, wow, not the mama too. Not the mama too. And it was funny because Cher starts mocking Brittany's nasally ass voice. So she's just like, "I have a husband. He's my husband. He's my husband." Cher cracked me up. "He's my husband." I can't even remember what it was she mocked her on, but she repeated that little nasally voice, and I was weak. Britt gives me, it's girls' night, and she gonna bring her man. Because you told myself, "Oh, my sister's jealous because she just feels like she's supposed to be where I am, and she wants a husband that loves her. She wants to have it all figured out, and since she doesn't, she just hates on me because I do." That's what Britt is saying. That her sister is jealous that she got a man. Meanwhile, the sister is just like, "I want one-on-one time with you. I shouldn't have to talk to you and your husband." And I totally get that. I'm married, but I have never been that girl that's going to, oh girl, let me get back to my man. Oh girl, my man gotta do this. Oh, well, my man coming because, nah, stay your ass at home. When I did have a man like that, I had to chuck the deuces on him. I can remember I was going to do something, and say for instance, because this was when I was in grad school. Say for instance, I had school, you know, in the daytime, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it might ran a little bit longer to like maybe work hours because we were finishing up projects and stuff. And then I had to go to work. I wasn't even hanging out with friends, y'all. I had to go to work. And when I was getting ready to go, he was like, "Dang, you been busy the past 3 days." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm in school." And he said, "Well, what I'm supposed to do when you at work?" Find a hobby. Do you have friends? Do you know how to read? Go play some video games. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. It's just so many things that you can do without being up my butt. Child, I was so turned off. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to be done with you because you can't depend on me to be your happiness or your fun or your entertainment. You need to find it on your own. Find it on your own. And so she's sitting there talking to the sister, and she's like, "Don't let this be the last time I talk to you. Like, it's been a month. When's the last time I seen my nephew?" It's just like, "It's been longer than that. It's been a month, but you're not gonna like this, but you know, Mike is calling. Mike is calling, so I have to go. I had to rewind and take a look at the plates. It looked like they food had just gotten out. Like, did your fork touch the food before you letting your husband get you up out of this with your sister? Your sister. They were sisters. Okay? So absolutely annoyed me. We see that Brittany is absolutely the problem in her female friendships, relationships, sisterships, everything. She's a problem. We see Kenya and Kelly. Like I said, Kelly is my new fave, my new girl fave. So Kelly is going over to Kenya's hair spot, and she has security. And so she's like, girl, why you got security? She tells us and Kenya that her ex had threatened her, and yeah, that's why she got security. Kenya's like, well, do you have proof of him threatening you? She said, girl, he threatened me in court and was held in contempt. So yeah, hardcore proof. Kenya's just like mouth open, like, what? She was like, you got your MARK, I got my MARK, and that's to handle my MARK. I said, now what now? So Kenya is like, listen, girl, I done started this business and I need some help, girl. Give me some advice. I love this. I love that Kenya is humble enough to be like, this person does this, and this is something I'm striving to do. She's not too good to ask for help. Hey, Sheree, we talking about you. Because when you was starting She by Sheree and you was talking to Candy and she was trying to put you on the people that could get this clothing line off the ground, you was acting like you was too good for help, only for you to push out what you did. So I really love this moment from Kenya. She even gets vulnerable. And lets her know that, like, she's worried. She's doubting herself. She's like, did I do the right thing? She even cries. She says that she's blown Brooklyn's college fund on this and she's feeling terrible about it. She spent $400,000 total. Kelly reassures her that, like, girl, God gives you the vision and no one else. So it's not for anybody else to understand. You got this. And I was just like, this is such a good moment because Kelly did exactly what Kenya needed in that moment, and it was genuine. And we see that she even did like a little promo content, like they made a little video, and when she put it out recently for like what they did, it looked like they did it like on that episode, probably to make her feel better. Like, girl, let's go ahead and do some content to bring people in, because she did ask her, how did you get people in the door? She was like, girl, word of mouth. Word of mouth. So I'm guessing that was Kelly being like, girl, let's do a little commercial. Come on, let's do this Kenya Moore hair spa commercial. And she had Shamia's song Never Had playing in the background online. Go look at that online. Go find her page. Somebody posted it on Twitter. That's how I saw it. But I was like, this is so sweet. This is what she needed. And she was like, girl, it's going to be fine. It's going to be good. And we're going to get Brooklyn College Fund back. It's going to be fun. Nothing to worry about. A lot of people for judging Kenya. You use your baby college fund on this pipe dream and da-da-da. Brooklyn is 6. Brooklyn is 6. Kenya has time to start 2, 3, 4 more businesses to make Brooklyn's college fund back. Like, everybody, let's take a breather. It's not like the baby going to college next year and don't have no money to get her there. She's 6. She's 6. And she got a daddy, so he need to be coughing up some funds for college too. This ain't all on Kenya, but I get where Kenya was coming from. Shamia knows that she needs to make up with Angela because her platform is sisterhood and community, and she's talking to her. Was it her sister about it? Yeah, nothing really went on it. So she just talked about her song, and she talked about her knowing that she needs to make up with Angela. So next we see a Pampered by Porsha meeting. Porsha had quit all of her jobs, y'all, thinking that she was going to retire by 40 because of Simon. She thought she was going to retire by 40 because of Simon, y'all. Because she was on Dish Nation. What else was she doing? It was like 2 or 3 things that she had going on outside of Housewives. But she quit Housewives too. So it was like, you quit all your jobs thinking that this would be your retirement plan. That was just goofy in and of itself, because you shouldn't ever want to be 100% relying on no man. And I get it, she wasn't 100% relying on no man, but she was heavily relying on that man. So she talks about how she wants to expand. Ooh, how she wants to expand. Bitch, I need to breathe. That's what's the part of I love that. We're gonna get there after this scene. Okay, so she wants to expand Pampered by Porsha to duvets and home decor. A lot of people didn't even know that she had the sheets line, but I'm like, where have y'all been? She's had these sheets for forever. I can recall when they were doing the first pop-up shop. The first pop-up shop that they did on there when it was like, what was it? She might not have had Pampered by Porsha then. It might have just been Go Naked Hair. But when they had that pop-up shop raising money, and this was COVID time, so everybody was masked up, she was selling Pampered by Porsha sheets. So I just see how y'all don't be paying attention to nothing, because she's been selling these sheets for quite some time now. And I'm not mad at it. Girl, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to be doing something to bring you residual income. If the sheet's good, I might buy me a set, because, you know, I love a good high thread count, soft Egyptian cotton, soft cotton, you know, whatever type of sheets. She wants to expand to duvets and home decor. And then they talk about Go Naked. And he wasn't an assistant. I can't think of what his title was, but her Don Juan, his name is Johnny, and Johnny actually looks like, I know it's not him, but the guy who gonna check me, boo, that Sheree was talking to like that, he kind of looked like him. He kind of like they can be brothers. So I couldn't take this scene serious at all. So he talks about how Drew reached out to him to work with music, and Porsha's like, the girl really trying to morph into me. I mean, she wearing Go Naked hair or whatever, but you can't be wearing my hair if you think you're going to turn into me. You trying to steal my people, wear my hair, do this, do that. Like, no. I need to breathe. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So... she feels like Drew is just doing the most, and she hopes that she can just fire Drew, but she has to check with the contracts and the lawyer. She said that, you know, it's not just her with Go Naked. They got a CEO, they got lawyers, they got HR, and production so petty, because as she's saying this, they just got like the title and then a different spelling of her name under it. Even Check Me Boo looking like was like, so what's the number to corporate? She said, you got my number, don't you? Hello, this is Go Naked Corporate. I said, exactly, girl. But I'm sure she can't just fire that girl all willy-nilly, because there are contracts in place, okay? So next, y'all, bitch, I need to breathe. I'm about to step outside. I need to breathe. Everybody's talking about how their tagline from this is Brit wanting a hug from Kenya, but I'm like, mine is, bitch, I need to breathe. Drew is at the studio and Dennis is there this time. Yeah, they're making good music. The album was good. He gonna say, because they start talking about Porsha, and if either of them have talked to Porsha since the last time and the blow up, he was like, man, when we started this, she was in Nigeria eating fufu. She wasn't worried about this. She wasn't worried about me. I said, not in Nigeria eating fufu. But I bet he ain't lying. If it wouldn't have been for her going through the divorce, she probably wouldn't care as much as she does right now. We will never know. The world will never know. But after they have this little conversation, they're like, all right, Drew, get in the booth. And she's like, I need to breathe. He like, go a little lower. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. And it was giving, sleep on that. Sleep on that. How did he have them girls in the studio? Sleep on that. Sleep on that. Bitch, I need to breathe. I can't get it out of my head. Bitch, I need to breathe. But it's a good album, y'all. I like it. Lastly, we are at Angela's All Black event. It's at the Bank Vault in Bankhead. Bankhead. Big bank. Oh, right? So Bri and Kelly are on the phone and they're like, ooh, child, this is hood. You know, I'm gonna need my security. Well, girl, we got security. Okay, girl, Mike gonna be my security. Okay, girl. Like I said, it's an all black event. It literally says chic black attire on the invitation, but Kenya comes in like a seafoam green. She goes around and she's hugging everybody. Oh, hey, girl, hey. She gets to Brit and she's like, you know, do a little real cutesy hug. And the part that blows me is like the way Kenya hugged Brit is the same way Brit hugged her back with the same little tappy hands. But she's like, Kenya, that's not a real hug, Kenya. That was a tap. Kenya, that was a tap, Kenya. Like I said, Brit is obsessed. Brit wanted Kenya to hug her like a man would hug her, okay? She wanted Kenya to reach down, give her a titty-to-titty embrace, and lift her up a little bit. That's what Brit wanted, clearly, because this wasn't good enough. The hug like she gave everybody else wasn't good enough. She wanted a boob-to-boob embrace. You take me in to smell my perfume. When you get done hugging me, bitch, you need to smell like my perfume. Okay, that is the type of energy that Brit is on. Obsessed. So Shamia comes and she brings an olive branch. It's literally a bottle of olive oil with a branch in it. I said, okay. She brings an olive branch to Angela, and Angela, she accepts because Shamia's just like, you know what? I was wrong. I should never come at you for your looks. That's just not me to be coming to somebody about their appearance. And I just want to start over. And Angela's excited. Angela wants to, she's accepting it because you can tell, like, it's just light shade. Like, you know, somebody's feelings might get hurt in the interim, but it's light shade. So it's nothing to hold on to. You see, Brit? You see how that works? And the thing about Brit with me was somewhere else in this episode, she's like, I mean, I throw a little shade sometimes, but I mean, that's just me. So you can throw shade, but can't nobody throw no shade towards you. And the shade you threw be way worse than the shade that Kenya gave you. But all right, girl. All right. Kelly, they're sitting down for dinner, and Kelly brings up the fact that Drew didn't buy anything at the event. And she brought 2 extra people. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of tacky. She was like, yeah, I know that your sister was coming, but you didn't tell me that your makeup artist was coming too, and he didn't buy anything. And yeah, this is kind of the type of event where it's like, if you can't afford to play, don't come outside. If you can't afford to pay, don't think you can play. Yeah. So that was kind of like, why you bringing all these people, you know? But, okay, whatever. Kelly brought it up. It was a little like, okay, girl, this is how you wanted to bring it up. Kelly don't have no intro to her feelings, okay? Like she said, she's a straight shooter, so she's just gonna go straight at it. She's not gonna find an opening that'll make it make sense or nothing. She's just gonna come straight out the gate. Wow, this is how I feel. So Drew is like, yes, I did. I bought a blazer for my son. I bought a $2,000 blazer for my son. And she shows her this text thread where she was talking to the sales associate, I guess, about getting it tailored or getting the right size or something. Who knows? But when Kelly gets her phone, she's getting a text message from Dennis. She's like, I see Dennis texting. And Porsha was like, ooh. She's like, girl, don't play me. It's multiple people on that thread. It is a group text message. Like, stop playing. I was laughing about that. So Shamia, they asked, Angela actually asked Shamia, so Shamia, catch us up. What's been going on? Shamia's like, actually, you know, I'm about to do an album. I just got in the studio with RL and I did a song. So, you know, I want y'all to hear my song. Porsha's whole mood and face just dropped, baby. You would have think somebody told her that they was fucking her man. Like, that's how she, like, whole mood switched. And then she says, why do I feel like it's about to be a diss track? Girl, what would make you even think or say that? Why I feel like it's about to be a diss track? Like, she really said that. I was like, wow, the insecurities The insecurities are jumping out of Porsha right now. First, her baby daddy is helping Drew make music, and now Shamia, the bestie that she wanted to be her flunky for forever, is taking the shining spotlight. Okay. And doing music and sounding good. So Porsha is just, she can't even be happy for the girl. So Shamia plays the song and Porsha shading her. That's not you singing. That's Drew. She's like, that's me. Why would Drew be on my song? No, girl, that's Drew. That's Drew. She's like, that's me. Bitch, I don't know your singing voice, is what Porsha said. Shamia's like, just listen. Listen. Like, what sense would that make for her to play a song that she's saying is hers and it be Drew's song? Porsha was being extremely shady. Even Angela, who Shamia just made up with, is like, that was good. That was good song. Wouldn't y'all think so? Don't y'all think so? And everybody at the table, except for Porsha, everybody's like, yes, Shamia, good job. And Porsha was like, I still don't think that was you on the song. So, you really telling me that my ears are deceiving me? Shamia said, well, your ears didn't listen. Well, your ears didn't listen. It was just so nasty of Porsha to do that. I was just like, and then she had her confessional throwing more shade. I just said I thought it was Drew on the song because it sound good. Baby, Shamia is the better singer than all of y'all. And that's no shade. It's just you trying to act like it can only be good if it's Drew and your baby daddy on the track. Like, you don't be knowing that Shamia sing. Like, it was just so off-putting. Shamia, say deuces to that girl. She don't mean you no type of well. She's praying for your downfall because she ain't happy. Can't nobody else be happy, child. She don't want nobody doing no music. If she can't make a hit single, can't nobody make a hit single. So they're like, well, what's this bank deposit slip sitting on the table? And they're about to do this little questions game. I said, well, this time it's not at a kid's party because we'll never forget. Candy stuck in the locker room. Who have been saying that? That's what I immediately thought of when they said we're going to write down questions for the girls to read. So the questions, okay, they asked me what she do after Gerald gave her the Rolls Royce. She like, boop, 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 you know what I mean? They asked Angela, what's something that you don't want everybody to know? Stupid. Porsha's like, you and your man get a little spicy, right? Y'all do threesomes? Okay, I know something about your man, but I ain't gonna say it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I know something about your man, but don't worry about it. Petty. But it turns into question Kenya. First question is, why don't you like married women, or why you always coming for married women? Stupid question gets a stupid response, and that's what Kenya said. Oh, that's just how I am. And they were like, what? She's like, I'm just joking. Like, what kind of question is that? I didn't come for nobody. Then, when the first Kenya question was, what color panties are you in? And she gets up and is like, being all like weird about it. But I guess she must have showed us how her panties, because the way her dress was cut, it just looked real easy to open up. So Porsha makes a joke about Kenya having a big old vagina and it's gonna hop on the table and eat everybody's food. And so then they asked her, Kenya, can you just be nice to Britt? And Kenya's like, I'm nice with everybody. I'm cordial and polite with everybody. Like, and Britt is like, no, but I'm talking about me. Can you be nice to me? And Kenya's like, I'm talking about everybody. No, this isn't about, no, Kenya. I need you to love me. You did give me the titty-to-titty embrace that I needed, Kenya. I tried to hug you and feel on your booty twice now, and you're not allowing it. I just don't understand why you won't sleep with me, Kenya. I'm trying to wear your skin. I'm trying to morph into you and your friendship and your love, and you just won't allow it, Kenya. Be nice to me. Kenya's like, okay, girl, I just see that you're ready for your moment. Here's your moment. No, you want a moment. You need a moment. Kenya's like, I am the moment. Okay, there, thank you. Don't, I didn't send for you. I didn't send for you. Actually, you did. You've been coming at her for the past few weeks. And Kenya's like, thanks for using Thanks for using my catchphrase, girl. Like, what? And I'm so like, don't you know that's her catchphrase? Like, you are an obsessed fan. You're using her catchphrase and you don't even realize it. Like, how you gonna... She's obsessed. And so she's like, they're leaving. Well, first she just starts yelling, be this, be that, and da-da-da. And Kenya's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this because peasants can't come for the queen. And Kenya gets up to leave. At this point, everybody's leaving because they're like, girl, the night is over. Britt doing the daggone most. And even Kelly is like, girl, you're doing a lot. They're getting ready to leave. And Britt is like, let me make sure I got my purse. Let me make sure I got my purse. And, you know, yeah, I got my pistol. I still got my pistol. Excuse me? You still got your pistol? What you need a pistol for? And then they get outside. They like, girl, Kenya, Porsha and Shamia in the car. Was it Porsha and Shamia? I think it was Porsha and Shamia in the car. And they tell Kenya, come on, girl, just get in the car with us. Get in the car with us. Because Britt is just doing too much. So they're just trying to get Kenya away from the situation. And Britt is over there. I got whistles. I got whistles. I got whips and pistols. I got whips and pistols. I said, are you trying to be like this or like this? Because what you need a whip for? Huh? See, I knew he was trying to be like this. Where is my girl Bondi Blue? Bondi Blue with... I can't wait till Thursday night. Ooh, do they even have a Ooh Ladies First? I be wanting Bondi to watch my reviews so that she can be like, yes, girl, you see it too? Yes, girl, we see each other. Because Britt trying to be like this with her, right? Right? She trying to be like this with her because you got whips and she ain't hug you tight enough. So they're outside and she's, where's my husband? Where's my husband? I have a husband that loves me. Where's my husband? So Mike is coming over towards her and she's still talking reckless about having whips, having pistols, about ready to do this. I said, Mike's response definitely gives me that y'all money ain't clean. Mike's response is giving me, yeah, I'm Armenian mob. I don't need this type of heat on us. Because he's like, what, girl? Why are you talking crazy? You still got your mic on? Girl, take your mic off. He just starts taking the mic off for her. He didn't even wait for production to get over there. I said, baby, y'all been trying to figure out if Mike gay or not. Mike is mob. Mike is mob. Mike is into some unsavory acts on how they got their money, okay? That's what it's giving. Because the way he was like, girl, you still got your mic on? Girl. Mike said, people don't even know we got guns. Don't be having people to come over here searching this house. Don't be having people coming over here looking at us. Mike said, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, Jamal, don't bring out the 9. That's what I would have said if I was one of the girls. Whoa, Jamal, don't bring out the 9. But that's the end of these 2 episodes, y'all. It's a mess, and it's really shocking to me that Bravo didn't do anything about this because she mentioned having a pistol twice. She mentions it twice, and she's clearly, people are like, it's a couple people that's like, well, she didn't say that she was gonna use it on her. It's not like she said she's gonna use it on her. Well, what would be the point in bringing it up in the middle of an argument? Then she wants to act all oblivious. Like when it first happened, she had the little post like, I've never owned a gun. I've never even been in a fight. But this episode alone debunks that. And then on the next episode, she's like, I don't want Kenya thinking that I'm trying to harm her. So what the whips and pistols supposed to do? Is that your freaky little foreplay? You obsessed, crazed swim fan, you? Anyway, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all thought about these 2 episodes. I'm doing Married to Medicine next week. I just don't have it in me. I'm going to finish them up with the episode, with a part 2, part 3 double review. And that'll be that. Until next time, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Share the channel, share the video, like and subscribe, thumbs up me, comment. Let me know what you thought about everything. Until next time, see you later.